It's a Friday edition of sports here on the AM show. My name is Asari Bediako. Thank you very much for your time. It's a big day in world football. Why? Because the 2018 World Cup draw will be made in Russia later today. I'll tell you how Moscow is getting ready for the big event in a bit. Remember, the Black Stars of Ghana will not be in Russia because they finished third in their qualifying group behind Egypt and Uganda. And former Black Stars midfielder Michael Essien is disappointed Ghana failed to make a fourth consecutive appearance at the Mundial.
We've been doing pretty good a couple of years ago, but we didn't make it for whatever reason. I don't know, but you know, these things happens in football, and it's not always gonna be a good way. Sometimes you have some rough times, but you know, it's one of those things, and I think they'll go back and come back again, do their homework pretty well, and then come back.
And finally, we have some of the other African countries, of course, at the World Cup. We have Senegal, Egypt, Nigeria, just to name a few. Who do you see making the biggest impact for Africa?
I don't know. I think we just have to wait and see, because both countries are quite good. They have some good players who plays their trade in Europe, and so I think they will work hard. So we just have to sit back and support them, and hopefully they can do pretty well for the country.
And still talking about the 2018 World Cup, the draw will be made in Russia later today, and Moscow is ready for today's big event.
With the World Cup trophy on site and Red Square and the Kremlin adorned with 2018 FIFA World Cup paraphernalia, Moscow looked set to host Friday's group stage draw. But inside the hall at the State Kremlin Palace, where the draw will be held, preparations continued.
You will have a nice surprise, and everybody will be only focusing on football. So the draw will be giving really putting the highlights on the football and the football players.
The 32 finalists will be split into 8 groups featuring a team from each pot, with rankings alone used to determine how the teams are allocated. Only Europe can have 2 teams in the same group. And a FIFA official was quick to shut down any suggestions of hot and cold balls being used to fix the draw.
I can tell you, because I've been involved now in the last 3 draws in Brazil and in South Africa as well, and that's a big story. There's no truth to that, and in fact, be happy to invite you up to see that there's really. They're all the same. They don't feel any different. They don't look any different, with the exception of the red ball, but that's there for a purpose. And so it is really entirely random, entirely by chance how the groups get formed at the end.
Now to the Ghana Premier League, because Inter Allies have confirmed the appointment of Kenichi Yasuhashi as their new head coach. The Japanese is a former head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. Here is a report by Nana Kwame Asamoah of Joy Sports.
Japanese coach has made a surprise return to the Ghana Premier League. 17 months after his shock exit from Hearts of Oak, Kenichi parted company with the Phobians before the second round of the 2015-2016 season. He has reached an agreement to be the new coach of the Accra-based side, as well as its youth development side, Cedar Stars Academy. Inter Allies confirmed the news on their official website, and the new coach will arrive in time for the club's pre-season, ahead of the 2017-2018 campaign. Kenichi has a huge knowledge of the terrain, having coached in the Ghana Premier League with Hearts of Oak, where he has had a successful tenure with the Phobians. He also worked with Nigerian Premier League side FC Ifeanyi Uba in 2016 and Cambodian C League club Tiger FC in 2017.
Let's go to the Ghana Football Association, because their 3-day summit in Cape Coast has ended. The local football governing body met the key internal and external stakeholders to explore the challenges the game has faced in recent times and how to overcome those challenges. And at the summit, the GFA promised to develop women's football here in the country. Here's the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nantuchi.
On women's football, we're going to provide more support for women's football. GFA, apart from the Sanford FA Cup competition, GFA is the sole sponsor for women's football. We will continue to sponsor women's football at an enhanced level, and we want to give more meaning and support to women's football. To this effect, we will be proposing to Congress to create an additional slot on the executive committee exclusively for women. Even though Ms. Linia Adi is the representative of women on the FA ESCO, she is there as a rep of the constituent bodies. So if the next time coaches or referees think that she's had enough of her tenure, they can ask her to step aside. But we think that this is an era where we have to encourage women. It's not about Linia Adi as a person, but it's about women. So beyond her, any other woman, it could be you, any of you here, or another woman who will take up the seat. But we will have a permanent seat on the executive committee for women.
President of the Ghana Sports Writers Association, Kwabena Eboa, was at the 2017 GFA Summit, and after the event, the 8 sports journalists urged the FA to curb bribery and corruption.
One issue that has been a big bother and big concern to many followers of the game has been the issue of bribery and corruption regarding our referees, because you'll be the first to admit that, especially getting to the tail end of the season, most of the games, were predetermined, which does not go well at all for our teams, So it's been a major concern and an area of discussion for this 3-day seminar. And the FA is proposed that for any referee who comes out to report an official, a 20,000 package will be offered that personality, that referee. But I would go beyond that and say that I do not think that refereeing is about making money. I think it's a very noble profession, and for whoever is in this noble profession of refereeing, who thinks that is an avenue to make money, I humbly suggest he must quit the profession. This is not an arena to make money. It's a very noble calling. It's not to make money. It's to contribute your quota to the national development in terms of our footballing. So it's not about football. And there's a reason I get worried when some referees suggest that allowances paid them are not huge enough. Nobody is under any compulsion to become a referee. If the allowances are not good enough, I think you're better off quitting the profession. But for those who find themselves in it, it's a way of contributing their quota to our national development through football, And I would say that it's an irony, it's intriguing, it's unfortunate that the very club officials who complain about corruption and bribery regarding our referees are the very ones who are perpetrating this ignoble practice, And I want us to go beyond that. Instead of offering just a package of 20,000 for anybody who comes to report, I think the FA is going to be proactive within the context of what happened in South Africa some time ago and what happened in Europe some time ago, with specific reference to Italy, where the FA, where those FAs desirous of eliminating and cleansing their sport, contracted members of the intelligence community.
You heard Kwabena Eboa, president of the Ghana Sports Writers Association, urging the Ghana Football Association to curb bribery and corruption in the 2017-2018 football season. Let's go international now and talk about the fixtures in games in the English Premier League and in the Spanish La Liga. Great games to look forward to tomorrow and Sunday. Chelsea versus Newcastle at the Stamford Bridge. Brighton up against Liverpool. Watford, Tottenham, Leicester, Burnley, Everton, Huddersfield and West Bromwich Albion will play against Crystal Palace at the Hawthorns. Arsenal versus Manchester United. This is the top liner of the weekend. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Stoke City will play Swansea City. Bournemouth up against Southampton. And Man City will play against West Ham United on Sunday at the Etihad Stadium. Let's check our fixtures in the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona are playing against Celta Vigo, one of the best attacking teams in La Liga. So Malaga will play against Levante later today at the La Rosaleda, and Barcelona tomorrow afternoon will play Celta Vigo at the Camp Nou at the Wanda Metropolitano. Atletico Madrid will welcome Real Sociedad. Sevilla welcome Deportivo to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. And at the San Mamés, this is the top lineup: Bilbao versus Real Madrid. Atletico Bilbao versus Real Madrid. Leganés play Villarreal. Getafe welcome Valencia to the Coliseum. Alfonso Perez. Eibar will play Espanyol. Las Palmas up against Real Betis, and newly promoted Girona will play against Deportivo Alaves. And that'll be all for sports here on the AM show on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. For more sports news, make your way to the sports page on myjoyonline.com. You can as well follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are Joy Sports GH, and on Facebook, we are at Joy Sports. My name is Asari Bediako. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your holiday. The AM show continues with Roland Walker.